The famous Son of Sam serial killer was finally caught on this very day, back in 1977. And the most insane part about him was that he claimed a black Labrador retriever was ordering him to go on a killing spree. Oof, that sounds freaky. David Richard Berkowitz, also known as the Son of Sam, or the .44 caliber killer, was a 24-year-old American serial killer arrested on August 10, 1977. He was charged with killing 68 people, wounding many others, and also setting fires all across New York City without ever getting caught. Today, let me tell you all the uncovered and hidden secrets of his messed up childhood, his killing spree, and the Omega Task Force created especially to capture Richard Berkowitz. And make sure to like this video if you're a true crime fan. Born on June 1st, 1953, David Berkowitz's unmarried parents separated soon after he was born and put him up for adoption. His adoptive parents, Pearl and Nathan Berkowitz, were hardware store retailers and childless in their middle age. Berkowitz was recognized as a child with above-average intelligence, but he soon started channelizing that negatively. He became weirdly attracted to small thefts and starting fires. A lot of his neighbors did describe him as a difficult and spoiled kid who bullied others. And it didn't help him when he turned 14. His adoptive mother died from breast cancer, making him feel even more alone and disconnected from the world. After that, Berkowitz joined the army and served for 3 years. When he left the army, he was distinguished as a talented marksman. Gradually, his mental condition worsened. He started feeling isolated from the world and became an arsonist. He went around setting hundreds of fires in New York City, and no one ever arrested him. But the real trouble hadn't even started. Around this time is when he started to hear voices, what he called demons, that manipulated and forced him to commit murders. And he picked Christmas Eve of 1975 for his first act of insanity. In 1975, Berkowitz was 22 and all set to give in to the demons in his head. On Christmas Eve of the same year, he used a hunting knife to stab 2 women in Co-op City. The first one was never identified, but the second one was a 15-year-old sophomore named Michelle Foreman. He stabbed this innocent girl 6 times, and she was hospitalized for weeks after. But Berkowitz quickly relocated and wasn't suspected of the crime. He moved into a 2-family home in Yonkers, New York, and was convinced that the German Shepherd in his home and the other neighborhood dogs were possessed by demons who ordered him to murder attractive young women. He shifted homes again within 4 months, and his new neighbor, Sam Carr, had a black Labrador retriever. Berkowitz was convinced that his dog forced him to kill, and that Sam was a powerful demon that controlled him, giving birth to the phrase Son of Sam. Then, on July 29th, around 1 a.m., he found 2 young women, Donna Lauria and Jody Valenti, in a parking lot. He angrily approached them in a car. As Donna Lauria opened her door, Berkowitz removed a gun from a paper bag, crouched, braced one elbow on his knee, aimed at her, and fired. Unfortunately, she was struck by the bullet and died on the spot. Berkowitz fired another shot at Jody Valenti, and luckily it only hit her thigh. He then went on to fire a 3rd shot, which missed both the girls, and then Berkowitz walked away quickly. He went on to shoot and kill 4 more people and wound 5 others over the next year. And the police were also on the lookout for him for over half a year. It was actually the biggest manhunt in New York City. As we reach August 10th, 1977, the police had already investigated Berkowitz's car because they had received a tip a few days ago from a local resident, Kalicia Davis, regarding a man following her while she was walking her dog, and she turned around and she heard gunshots fired, but managed to run back home safely. The police waited outside his apartment for the entire day. Around 10 p.m., Berkowitz left his apartment and got into his car. Immediately after, 2 detectives held him at gunpoint, and a police task force called the Omega Task Force surrounded the car and the area. The police found satanic graffiti on his home's walls, 3 diaries filled with a secret code, and all the arsons he claimed to have set through New York City. The speculation was that the number of fires he set up was over 1,400. Finally, he was caught and sentenced to 6 25 years to life sentences, which was the maximum penalty allowed at the time. He is not allowed parole and is actually at the Shawangunk Correctional Facility in New York at present. Well, setting fires is one level. Murdering people is definitely a whole other level. But creating a bomb that killed over 200,000 people is a wildly another level. And if these kind of stories fascinate you, then you can't miss out on this next story about the Hiroshima-Nagasaki bombing, especially because I also talk about Dr. Oppenheimer's role in it. Make sure you are subscribed to Behind the Date so that you can uncover the stories behind each special day. Bye-bye. I'm going to go deeper into this rabbit hole of bombs and true crime.